Chainsaw won't start, won't stay running? Stay tuned. I'll tell you 3 reasons why today on American Piddler.
Two hours later.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the shop. This is American Piddler and I'm your host Ezra. Today we're going to talk about chainsaws and why they won't stay running or start. I got 3 main reasons and they're like the biggest reasons for it. Alright guys, let's dive right into this. Okay, so we've got our saws and we've pulled our brains out here and they won't start. So what better way to get this started than with a saw that isn't running, right? So first things first, you need 3 things to make a saw run, and the very first one is spark. So if the saw isn't getting fire, it's not going to run. So we'll take our covers off and we'll just get right into it. Right there. This is your spark plug. Right here. Okay. Pull this off. Isn't it amazing how this little itty bitty wrench that you have with your chainsaw pretty much will disassemble the entire machine and put it back together with a scrunch? And I'll leave a comment or a link down below where you can buy scrunches if you don't have one. If you have a chainsaw, you really need to own one. So look, we'll pull this out and we'll get a good look at it. See how it's all kind of crappy looking? Well, I went and got the one it calls for. And for each saw, it'll have a different gap. Okay? And the gap is right there. You see that little gap between it? And so you want to make sure that you use a gauge and gap that properly. Now, once you have it gapped, okay, the way this works is you turn the saw on, and once you have the saw on, if you pull this, so here I'm going to show you how to check your spark. So we got it in there. And you can actually see it on camera, which is pretty good. So now we know that we're getting spark. Okay? And so there's various things that can cause spark issues. And so we'll kind of talk about that. First of all, you want to check your spark plug, make sure it's clean and the connections where it connects here are good. You want to check your wiring, maybe one's rubbed or it's shorting itself out. If it goes much beyond that, the homeowner is probably not going to take care of it. This is kind of like a tune-up deal. It'll be a coil, recoil, thing like that, and you may have to go to a dealership. But changing a spark plug's pretty easy. That's the number one. You know, that's my very first thing. I wouldn't call it number one. Alright guys, so we're going to put our spark plug back in. Snug it up. You don't want to over tighten it, but you know, you want it tight enough so that the compression doesn't come out of the back of that. We're on to our next issue when it comes to why your chainsaw might not start, or why it bogs down while it's running, or why it won't stay running, and that's going to be air. Okay, so we talked about spark. We got to get fire, And now we need air. Again, we're using our handy dandy scrunch. I call it that. It's a screwdriver wrench, hence the name scrunch. We'll back these out. Now this is all really simple stuff that anybody can do. So here's our old filter, and this is, I cleaned it up. I had never seen a filter as bad as this one, so it's no wonder that this saw didn't run. Now when I bought this saw, it cost me $35 to buy the saw, and here's the new filter. Okay, so I spent $35 buying the saw, and you think, oh well, that's a great deal, and it really is. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that when it comes to purchasing a steel chainsaw, or any chainsaw, even one of the knockoff Chinese brands. But now, after I purchased the chainsaw, I knew pretty much what I was going to need. New spark plug, new air filter, and then the next part that I'll show you. And I spent $55 at the dealership for all my tune-up parts. Now you could probably get those cheaper online, but I just wanted to go to the steel dealer, and oh, I was missing this bolt too. So, but anyway, so step 2. Now we got 1 out of the way, spark. 2 is air, and number 3 up next. All right, guys, we're narrowing it down. Number 3. I find this the most important step or tip or trick or whatever that I can give you when you're working on your chainsaw to keep it running, or you can't figure out why it won't start. Number 3 involves this right here. Your gasoline, your mixed gas, okay? I'm not going to get into an argument with you guys about what brand of synthetical, non-synthetic, whatever you're using, okay? Your mixed fuel. But what I will tell you, and I will argue, if that fuel, if this gas wasn't made within the last month, get rid of it. Put a fresh gallon of gas, mix it up fresh with your oil, put it in your saw. There is no need to use it. It's like $4 or $5, okay? Well, if you buy high test, we're talking $6, $7 to have a brand new fresh gallon of fuel that you can run your saw on. The saw will thank you for it. You'll thank yourself for it. The saw will run better because you got fresh gas. Okay, so that's where we're at with that. We're going to talk about gas. So, I wasn't lying to you. We're talking about the fuel. And what we're going to do, when I bought this saw, this old saw that I knew had been laying around, okay, I knew that we were going to need a fuel filter. Ta-da! So, if you're having trouble with your saw staying running and you've put fresh fuel in it, it's got a spark plug, it's got an air filter, you think you got it halfway tuned and it was running when you put it up, but you didn't do a few things to take care of it, and it just happens. Sometimes we get in a hurry. You may need a new fuel filter, okay? That's what I got here, and I got the line. This saw had fuel in it, and it may have some in it now from where I was testing. It doesn't. This saw was so bad that the fuel line that comes down inside and holds the filter had rotted. Okay, so when you guys put your saws up, I don't care if you've only used it for 15 minutes and you got a tank of fuel. It's a couple ounces of fuel. Dump that fuel out, start your saw, let it run till it runs out. There's no need to leave old fuel on a saw. Now if you're going to use your saw daily, it's not so important because you're not leaving fuel to sit. But if you're like me, I'm a homeowner, so you know I storm comes in and I got trees to cut, or maybe I need a little firewood, or a neighbor needs help cutting a tree down, and you know, so I get out and service all the saws and start them all up, and then we run them. When I'm done with them, I dump all the fuel out and I take the time to clean them up so that the next time I want to use the saw, all I have to do is walk out here and start it. That's pretty much where we're at. So I'm going to go ahead and hop off camera and install this in this saw, and you guys will get to see this saw run first. All right, guys, we replaced our spark plug for spark, our air filter for air, and our fuel filter and fuel line for fuel and the gas. Okay, so I just put a little bit in it, and your guess is as good as mine if this is going to start. There you go. Wow. Man. Hey guys. I get so excited when stuff works the way it's supposed to. That saw was not going to run, okay? So we went through the 3 basic things: spark, air, fuel. You check those things, and generally, unless something catastrophic is wrong, your saw's gonna run. PM, it's called preventative maintenance. You do a little bit of that, you're golden. Listen, if you guys found this video useful, hit the like button for me. Subscribe. You gotta hit the bell now when you subscribe. It's another thing YouTube changed. Leave me a comment down below. I'm sure there'll be a pro guy see this, and he'll probably tell me how stupid I am, but it's hard to argue when I say fresh fuel, fresh gas, fresh air filter, and fresh spark plug. Thanks for watching. God bless you, and keep on piddling.